Okay, we have a country to save or we die trying. Hello, everybody out there. This is Kingdom Lum Small Town Underground with Situational Awareness. I believe this is episode 3. And as you can see, this is going to be just a little bit of a video instead of the normal pictures. So we're trying something out new tonight. I've got some new stuff to cover, and I'm going to make this brief for everybody out there. I wanted to cover one thing tonight. Now, I didn't do a live stream this evening, which would have been on the 31st of July, but we got some really good stuff coming up. I'm going to be doing one on Friday if you're hearing this before then, and more guests planned in the near future. But I thought tonight I read something that was very profound, and as we go on this journey together, excuse me, as we go on this journey together, we're constantly learning, constantly understanding that we're under fifth generational warfare. Okay, it's a psychological warfare. It's a war for your mind, right? So I kind of wanted to start here real quick. As you can see, this is my Kingdom Lum Small Town, and this is a link to Give, Send, Go. Of course, a lot of people do hit me up about how they can help. You can go to my page, and it will bring up this Give, Send, Go. Thank you so much for the people that are helping me keep this thing going. I'm just trying to make it better and better. And I'm waiting on verification right now for Twitter, of course. So that's something good because I feel like I'm going to get pulled off of YouTube. And so we'll be primarily focusing on Twitter and Rumble from here out. Well, I'm going to be doing it all as much as I can until they pull me. And TikTok is trash. I get a strike about once a week on there. They're going to end up pulling that. But anyway, these are all the places that you can find me. And so I just thought I'd click through those real quick and just show the different areas of where we're focusing content. But this tonight is what I wanted to kind of look at. This is, of course, from True Stream Media, one of my most favorite, cherished channels. And like I said, this is all about learning. So they shared a tweet from Lauren Matsu, which I'm currently not following. But guess what? I'm going to follow now because this is something that you need to be aware of. So Lauren says, well, let me just share the quote first. So it says, "This constant lying is not aimed at making the people believe a lie, but at ensuring that no one believes anything anymore. A people that can no longer distinguish between truth and lies cannot distinguish between right and wrong. And such a people, deprived of the power to think and judge, is, without knowing and willing it, completely subjected to the rule of lies. With such a people, you can do whatever you want." And that quote was taken from Hannah Arendt, I believe, a German historian and philosopher, dated 1906 to 1975. And to give credit where credit is due, of course, Lauren's quote was a very interesting concept to consider, especially in a time when true information gets flagged as false and so many don't believe anything anymore. For example, the everything is a psy-op crowd. Also, David Hawkins, author of Power versus Force, essentially said that the lower levels of consciousness cannot distinguish truth from lies. So, I wanted to kind of focus on that this evening because I want to share this insight with you and myself. We're all learning as we go through this crazy clown show. But I want you to kind of pay attention to Lauren's quote here, when she says the everything is a psy-op crowd, okay? So think about this quote that Hannah Arendt said. "This constant lying is not aimed at making the people believe a lie, but at ensuring that no one believes anything anymore." And so I want to kind of talk a little bit about the assassination attempt, whereas we have no official narrative. We have no official story. The investigation is just, I don't even know if it's ongoing, but at this point in time, nothing can be a conspiracy theory, right? Anything can be explored. There's thousands of rabbit holes. But you have to understand the fifth generational warfare. You have to understand that they want you to think that everything is a psy-op. They want you to think that everything is completely staged one step at a time. And a lot of this probably is, okay? A lot of it probably is. But we have to kind of pull ourselves back and use some discernment here. And I know a lot of people say that Trump, this whole thing is staged by Donald Trump. And if you go back and you watch the original video that we all saw at the very beginning, you cannot convince me that a plan went that good to be able to miss the back of his head, the side of his head, the way that it did. There's no convincing me. So I want to remind everybody that everything is being told to us as a lie all around us, and it's really, really the fog. This is the fog of war, the war for your mind. You have to be very, very careful what rabbit holes that you go down and what you're willing to go out on a limb for, because I'm telling you, this stuff is coming at a higher psychological level than we realize. And a lot of people, that got kind of awoken when Donald Trump took place. There's a whole lot of us out here that we've been paying attention to this for years, and seeing through the veil. Also, you can kind of, we should all be getting to a place where we're using our discernment and understanding that not everything that we think is really going on behind the scenes is. It's just not. And I want everybody to just, if you're not following True Stream Media, you need to be following them anyway, because it's some of the best information out there. But when you get to the point where you don't know when up is down, left or right, just like we're at now, you start getting this brain rot. We start getting this brain rot where we question everything, right? We question everything. And I always say that, question everything, but you have to have some discernment here. And I'm not saying that I'm right about this. I'm not saying that things aren't staged and planned, but the media is so controlled. They're going to push whatever narratives that they can push out here. And especially with Kamala Harris, right? What are they going to do? They've completely flip-flopped on her, and now we're going to be bombarded by Kamala Harris. I mean, and we really don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 months, right? Now, there's a lot of things that we put our hope into, right? But again, I think that this is more God's plan than it is any man's plan. And honestly, I don't think anybody is really in control. I don't think the World Economic Forum is any more in control than the Harris campaign or Barack Obama or Q or anybody. I think that we're in a psychological fifth generational war, and they're playing tug of war with our minds. Okay, so a lot of things are going to be coming at us, and it's this controlled chaos. But you have to remember that they don't care. Nobody cares about the truth anymore, and it doesn't even matter. It's just trying to ensure that we no longer believe anything anymore, right? And that's a hard pill to swallow because of exactly what the rest of this comment says. That we won't be able to distinguish truth and lies. And that's kind of how I feel right now. That is where my mind is. Like, how do we distinguish what is true and what is false? Because these lines have been blurred so much. So all I say is we have to maintain discernment on what's happening all around us. Because once we can't tell, it's kind of like friendly fire. You won't even know. We won't be able to trust anybody. We won't be able to trust ourselves with the information that is being presented to us. So I thought maybe this would be a good situational awareness to remember that the psychological warfare is very, very strong. And we think that the devil, well, what's the quote? The best trick the devil ever pulled was making people believe he didn't exist. There's a lot of powerful entities going, here around us, controllers that are controlling everything, and you have to kind of pull back a little bit and make sure that you're using discernment on all this information that's coming at us 24/7, right? It hasn't always been this way. The general population hasn't always had this coming at them 24/7, right? So just be aware that there may be more veils that we have to pull back to understand, right? We see this in hindsight's 2020. So many times we see how much sense things make after the fact, right? Where we can't understand what's going on now. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope that this might help somebody out there, because I'm constantly searching for, like everybody else, what's the truth? What is the truth? And if we're in a situation now like Orwell's 1984, where there is no truth, I mean, we won't be able to distinguish anything. Right, wrong, left, right, up, down, and that's really where it feels like it's headed right now. So, anyway, I thought I would show that, and we'll try this out. And if you're listening to it, it means it went well. I got some good stuff lined up. You guys have a great evening. This is Situational Awareness 3. Over and out.